Hare Krishna. Somebody can please lead the invocation prayers.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Srila
Om
Prabhu.
Om Ajnatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Dalta Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sandabhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. So today we will first discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 6. And we'll aim to first finish this unit number 22 today, so that next week we can have the revisions, presentations by you all. Time permitting, I will answer the inquiries submitted by you all. So the context is that in previous chapter number 5, Lord Rishabdev gave a lot of important instructions. This chapter 6 is shorter chapter on the activities of Lord Rishabdev. Chapter 6 is titled The Activities of Lord Rishabdev, is divided into 4 parts. Part 1, Nature of Mind, is verses 1 to 5. Part 1 is verses 1 to 5, Nature of Mind. Part 2, verses 6 to 8, Lord Rishabdev's disappearance. Part 3, verses 9 to 12, Arhat will imitate Lord Rishabdev and create a false religion. Part 4, verses 13 to 19, glorification of Rishabdev's activities. So there is an important discussion on the mind in this chapter 6. First, we'll read the summary of this chapter before the verse starts. Shivangi, you want to read the summary of this chapter 6 before verse 1 starts?
Hare Krishna. The activities of Lord Rishabdeva. This chapter tells how Lord Rishabdeva left his body. He was not attached to his body when it was being burned up in a forest fire. When the seed or fruits of activity is burned by the fire of knowledge, the spiritual properties and mystic powers are automatically manifest, yet Bhakti Yoga is not affected by these mystic powers. An ordinary yogi is captivated by mystic powers and his progress is checked. Therefore, a perfect yogi does not welcome them. Because the mind is restless and undependable, it must remain always under control. Even the mind of the advanced yogi, Saubari, created such a disturbance that he lost his yogic mystic powers. Due to a restless mind, even a very advanced yogi can fall down. The mind is so restless that it induces even a perfect yogi to be controlled by the senses. Therefore, Lord Rishabhadeva, for the instruction of all yogis, showed the process of quitting the body. While traveling in South India through the provinces of Karnataka, Konka, Benka, and Kutaka, Lord Rishabhadeva arrived in the neighborhood of Kutakachala. Suddenly there was a forest fire that burned the forest and Lord Rishabhadeva's body to ashes. The pastimes of Lord Rishabhadeva as a liberated soul were known by the king of Konka, Venka, and Kutaka. This king's name was Arhat. He later became captivated by the illusory energy, and in this condition he set forth the basic principles of Jainism. Lord Rishabhadeva set forth the principles of religion that can free one from material bondage, and he put an end to all kinds of atheistic activities. On this earth, the place known as Bharatavarsha was a very pious land because the Supreme Lord appeared there when he wanted to incarnate. Lord Rishabhadeva neglected all the mystic powers for which the so-called yogis hanker. Because of the beauty of devotional service, devotees are not at all interested in so-called mystic power. The master of all yogic power, Lord Krishna, can exhibit all powers on behalf of his devotee. Devotional service is more valuable than yogic mystic powers. Devotees who are sometimes misled aspire for liberation and mystic powers. The Supreme Lord gives these devotees whatever they desire, but they do not attain the most important function of devotional service. Devotional service to the Lord is guaranteed for those who do not desire liberation and mystic power. Hare Krishna.
So very good summary. And at the start of this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj inquires, why did Rishabdev neglect mystic powers? So we already read the answer in the introduction of this chapter. So the answer is there in the chapter summary introduction, the last paragraph that we just read. Plus is further described in verse number 15. Abhishek Prabhu, read verse number 1 translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text 1 translation. King Parikshit asked Sukdev Goswami, My dear Lord, for those who are completely pure in heart, knowledge is attained by the practice of bhakti yoga, and attachment for fruitive activity is completely burned to ashes. For such people, the power of mischief automatically arrives. They do not cause distress. Why then did Rishabdev neglect them?
So Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring, why did Rishabdev neglect mystic powers? And the answer, we'll reread the chapter summary, last paragraph. Abhishek Prabhu will read. Last paragraph starts, Lord Rishabdev neglected all mystic powers. Plus, Abhishek Prabhu will also read verse 15, translation and purport.
Lord Rishabdev neglected all mystic powers for which the so-called yogis hanker. Because of the beauty of devotional service, devotees are not at all interested in so-called mystic power. The master of all yogic power, Lord Krishna, can exhibit all powers on behalf of his devotee. Devotional service is more valuable than yogic mystic powers. Devotees who are sometimes misled aspire for liberation and mystic powers. The Supreme Lord gives these devotees whatever they desire, but they cannot attain the most important function of devotional service. Devotional service to Lord is guaranteed for those who do not desire liberation and mystic power. Text 15. Who is that mystic yogi who can follow the example of Lord Rishabdev, even with his mind? Lord Rishabdev rejected all kinds of yogic perception which other yogis hanker to attain. Who is that yogi who can compare to Lord Rishabdev? Purpose. Generally, yogis desire the yogic perfection of anima, laghima, mahima, prakyama, prapti, ishtiva, vashishtava, and kama vashyata. Lord Rishabdev, however, never aspired for all these material things. Such these perfections are presented by the illusory energy of the Lord. The real purpose of yoga system is to achieve the favor and shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But this purpose sorry. The real purpose of yoga system is to achieve the favor and shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this purpose is covered by the illusory energy of Yogamaya. So-called yogis are therefore allured by the superficial material perfections of anima, lagima, prapti, and so forth. Consequently, ordinary yogis cannot compare to Lord Rishabhdev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So why did Lord Rishabhdev refuse to manifest mystic perfections? We read that Lord Rishabhdev neglected all the mystic powers for which the so-called yogis hanker because of the beauty of devotional service. Devotees are not interested in so-called mystic powers. Devotional service is more valuable than the mystic powers. So devotional service to the Lord is guaranteed only for those who do not desire liberation and mystic powers. So such mystic powers, these siddhis of anima, lagima, mahima, etc., they are material. They are presented by the illusory energy of the Lord. The real purpose of yoga is to achieve the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet and engage in devotional service. Questions, comments, realization so far? Next set of verses describe the nature of mind. That never trust the mind because mind can cheat at any time. Mind is like an unchaste wife. Mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. All of this cause bondage to karma. Sridhar Prabhu, verse 2, translation and purport.
Text 2, translation. Srila Sukadeva Goswami replied, "My dear king, you have spoken correctly. However, after capturing animals, a cunning hunter does not put faith in them, for they might run away. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. Indeed, they always remain vigilant and watch the mind's action." Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 18.5, Lord Krishna says, Yajnadana tapa karma nata tyajam karyam eva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Even one who has renounced the world and has taken sannyasa should not renounce chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Renunciation does not mean that one has to renounce Sankirtana Yajna. Similarly, one should not renounce charity or tapasya. The yoga system for control of the mind and senses must be strictly followed. Lord Rishabhadeva showed how severe types of tapasya could be performed, and he set an example for all others. Hare Krishna.
So mind takes on new conditions at every moment. Just as a cunning man behaves nicely, but then robs and kills a trusting man, similarly, mind suddenly becomes absorbed in sinful objects and takes away the discriminating knowledge. So verse 3 says that the restless mind can cheat at any moment. Mother Jija, verse 3 translation and purport.
Text 3. All the learned scholars have given their opinion. The mind is by nature very restless, and one should not make friends with it. If we place full confidence in the mind, it may cheat us at any moment. Even Lord Shiva became agitated upon seeing the Mohini form of Lord Krishna, and Hari Muni also fell down from the mature stage of yogic perfection. The first purport. The first business of one trying to advance in spiritual life is to control the mind and senses. As Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Mama Aiva Manso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanat Naha Manaha Sasta Nindraniam Prakritisthani Karosati. Although the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and are therefore in a transcendental position, they are still suffering in the material world and struggling for existence due to the mind and the senses. To get out of this false struggle for existence and become happy in the material world, one has to control the mind and senses and be detached from material conditions. One should never neglect austerities and penances. One should always perform them. Lord Rishabdev personally showed us how to do this. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.19.17, it is specifically stated, Matra swasra dohitra va nava vikastasana bhavat balavana indriya gramo vivam nisam api karpati. A grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi and brahmachari should be very careful when associating with women. One is forbidden to sit down in solitary place even with one's mother, sister or daughter. In our Krishna consciousness movement, it has been very difficult to disassociate ourselves from women in our society, especially in Western countries. We are therefore sometimes criticized, but nonetheless, we are trying to give everyone a chance to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and thus advance spiritually. If we stick to the principle of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, then by the grace of Srila Haridasa Thakura, we may be saved from the allurement of women. However, if we are not very strict in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we may at any time fall victim to women. Hare Krishna.
So never make friends with unsteady mind. Example, Shiva was agitated by Mohini Murti. The long austerity of Saubhara Muni was quickly destroyed. So what is the first business of one who is trying to advance in spiritual life? The first business of one who is trying to advance in spiritual life is to have control on mind and senses. So verse number 4 says, mind is like an unchaste wife. Uncle will read for translation and purport.
Hare Krishna, text 4, in translation. An unchaste woman is very easily carried away by permars, and it sometimes happens that her husband is violently killed by her permars. If the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, his mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi. Purport. In this verse, the word Pamskali refers to a woman who is easily carried away by men. Such a woman is never to be trusted. Unfortunately, in the present age, women are never controlled. According to the directions of the Shastra, women are never to be given freedom. When a child, a woman must be strictly controlled by her father. When she is young, she must be strictly controlled by her husband. And when she is old, she must be controlled by her elderly sons. If she is given independence and allowed to mingle unrestrictedly with men, she will be spoiled. A spoiled woman being manipulated by permas might even kill her husband. This example is given here because a yogi desiring to get free from material conditions must always keep his mind under the control. 3. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that in the morning our first business should be to beat the mind with the shoes 100 times, and before going to bed to beat the mind 100 times with the broomstick. In this way, one's mind can be kept under control. An uncontrolled mind and unchaste wife are the same. An unchaste wife can kill her husband at any time, and an uncontrolled mind, followed by lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and illusion, can certainly kill the yogi. When the yogi is controlled by the mind, he falls down into the material condition. One should be very careful of the mind, just as a husband should be careful of an unchaste wife. Hare Krishna.
The mind gives facility to the enemies like lust, anger, greed, etc. When a yogi starts blindly trusting the mind, mind is like unchaste wife whose paramours can come back to kill the husband. Therefore, uncle was rightly laughing while reading the purport to beat up the mind 100 times with our shoe in the morning and in the night. That historically you, Mr. Mind, have done all these bad things causing me these miseries. So at least on a go-forward basis, stop doing all this. Questions, comments, realization so far? So verse number 5 says, mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear, causing bondage. Chandra Aunty will read verse 5, translation and purport.
Text 5, translation. The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind? The mind is a purport. The mind is the original cause of material bondage. It is followed by many enemies such as anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. The best way to control the mind is to engage it always in Krishna consciousness. Sa vai mana Krishna pada padara vindaya ho. Since the follower of the mind bring about material bondage, we should be very careful not to trust the mind. Hare Krishna.
Mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear, causing bondage to karmic activities. So what learned man will put faith in mind? The best solution to control the mind is to proactively engage the mind always in Krishna conscious activities, just as one gives a toy to a child to keep the child silent and occupied. Questions, comments, realizations, very good revision of the mind. We have discussed all these points multiple times. Somebody, questions, comments, realizations?
Even though we know the mind is causing all the problem, the body is just like a machine. Like a car, when you give a command, it is by action, it is moving. Similarly, the mind is the culprit. Very difficult to control.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct that it's very difficult to control the mind. And if you are not conscious, then you are in this auto mode. Means you are functioning based on default settings in the body. So we have discussed this analogy that when you buy a new device, say a cell phone, it comes with a default ringtone. And if you don't like the ringtone, you will have to consciously change the ringtone. If you don't change the ringtone, well, whether or not you like it, that default ringtone will keep ringing. Similarly, our body has a default setting. The default setting in the body is the attraction of the mind and the senses to enjoy the sense objects. So we have to consciously change this default setting by proactively giving mind the safe playing space of Krishna conscious activities, just as you give a child a toy to play with. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. So now part 2 is verses 6 to 8. Lord Rishabdev's disappearance. We discussed in the previous chapter 5 about Avaduta, that one who has surpassed the rules and regulations of Varnashram Dharma is called and Avadhuta. Such a person has already surpassed the clutches of Maya, and he lives completely separate and independent. So Rishabdev concludes his pastime by teaching the yogis how to give a body to teach the yogis. Lord Rishabdev lived as an Avadhuta, acted as if dull and materially bound, although the Lord has no material body. Abhishek 6, 7, and 8 translations are straightforward.
Text 6. Lord Rishabdev was the head of all the kings and emperors within the universe, but assuming the dress and language of an Avdhuta, he acted as if dull and materially bound. Consequently, no one could observe his divine opulence. He adopted this behavior just to teach yogis how to give up the body. Nonetheless, he maintained his original position as a plenary expansion of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna. Remaining always in that state, he gave up his pastimes as Lord Rishabdev within the material world. If following in the footsteps of Lord Rishabdev, one can give up his subtle body, there is no chance that one will accept a material body again. Text 7. Actually, Lord Rishabdev had no material body, but due to Yog Maya, he considered his body material. And therefore, because he played like an ordinary human being, he gave up the mentality of identifying with it. Following this principle, he began to wander all over the world. While traveling, he came to the province of Karnataka in South India and passed through Konka, Venka, Kutaka. He had no plan to travel this way, but he arrived near Kutakachala and entered a forest there. He placed stones within his mouth and began to wander through the forest naked and with his hair disheveled like a man. Text said, while he was wandering about, a wild forest fire began. This fire was caused by the friction of bamboos, which were being held by the wind. In that fire, the entire forest near Kutakachala and the body of Lord Rishabdev were burned to ashes.
All right, straightforward verses that he ended his pastime. Now, part 3 is verses 9 to 12. Title is Arhat will imitate Lord Rishabdev and create a false religion. So King Arhat hears the activities of Lord Rishabdev, and being bewildered by Kali, Arhat imitates Lord Rishabdev's principles and creates a concocted false religious system. So Jiva will benefit from hearing and chanting Lord Rishabdev's pastimes and not by imitating his behavior. The followers of Arhat's concocted false religious systems will abandon varnashram, bathing, worship, and cleanliness, will accept concocted false religion, will deride Vedas, Brahmanas, Lord, and devotees. They will follow disciplic succession of the blind, and they will fall down to the darkest region of existence. So via his teachings, which are primarily in Canto 5, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabdev incarnated to deliver people from the clutches of Maya who are overwhelmed by the modes of passion and ignorance. Verses 9 to 12 are straightforward on what I just described. Shivangi, 9 to 12 translations.
Hare Krishna, text 9. Sukadeva Goswami continued speaking to Maharaja Parikshit. My dear king, the king of Omka, Mesa, and Attika, whose name was Arhat, heard of the activities of Rishabhadeva and imitating Rishabhadeva's principles, introduced a new system of religion. Taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles, which are free from risk, and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this theistic system. Text 10. People who are lowest among men and bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord will give up the original Varnashrama Dharma and its rules and regulations. They will abandon bathing 3 times daily and worshipping the Lord. Abandoning cleanliness and neglecting the Supreme Lord, they will accept nonsensical principles. Not regularly bathing or washing their mouths regularly, they will always remain unclean and they will pluck out their hair. Following a concocted religion, they will flourish. During this age of Kali, people are more inclined to religious systems. Consequently, these people will naturally deride Vedic authority, the followers of Vedic authority, the Brahmanas, the supreme personality of Godhead, and the devotees. Text 11. Low-class people, due to their gross ignorance, introduce a system of religion that deviates from the Vedic principles. Following their own mental concoctions, they automatically fall down into the darkest regions of existence. Krishna.
12 also. Shivangi, 12 translations.
Sorry, text 12. In this age of Kali, people are overwhelmed by the modes of passion and ignorance. Lord Rishabhadeva incarnated himself to deliver them from the clutches of Maya.
Very good. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So part 4 is verses 13 to 19. Glorification of Rishabdev's activities. People of Bharatvarsh are most pious because they are accustomed to glorifying auspicious activities of Lord's incarnations. Throughout the world, there is no question of bhakti yoga, no question of devotional service. But the people of Bharatvarsh can easily understand the devotional service of the Lord. Hence, every inhabitant of Bharatvarsh can perfect his life by discharging bhakti yoga and then practicing this bhakti yoga and preaching this bhakti yoga throughout the world for the benefit of everyone. Sridhar Prabhu, 13 to 15 translation.
Hare Krishna. Learned scholars chant about the transcendental qualities of the Lord Rishabhadeva in this way. Oh, this earthly planet contains 7 seas and many islands and lands, of which Bharatavarsha is considered the most pious. People of Bharatavarsha are accustomed to glorifying the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnations as Lord Rishabhadev and others. All these activities are very auspicious for the welfare of humanity. Text 14 translation. Oh, what shall I say of the dynasty of Priyavrata, which is pure and very much celebrated. In that dynasty, the Supreme Person, the original personality of God, descended as an incarnation and executed religious principles that could free one from the results of fruitive activity. Text 15 translation. Who is that mystic yogi who can follow the examples of Lord Rishabhadev even with his mind? Lord Rishabhadeva rejected all kinds of mystic perfection which other yogis hanker to attain. Who is that yogi who can compare to Lord Rishabhadeva? Hare Krishna.
Right. Now, verse 16 is Falashruti. The results of hearing and describing Lord Rishabhadev's activities are: 1. Vanquish sinful activities. 2. Create complete auspiciousness. 3. Attain pure bhakti. Mother Chandra Aunty, 16 translation.
Text 16, translation. Sukadev Goswami continued, Lord Rishabdev is the master of all Vedic knowledge. All Vedic knowledge, human beings, demigods, cows, and brahmanas. I have already explained his pure, transcendental activities, which will vanquish the sinful activities of all living entities. This narration of Lord Rishabhadev's pastime is the reservoir of all auspicious things. Whoever attentively hear or speaks of them, following in the footsteps of Acharyas, will certainly attain unalloyed devotional service at the lotus feet of the Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Now, devotees do not care for mukti, liberation. Rather, devotees are simply focused on doing devotional service. Mother Jija, 17 translation and purport.
Text 17. Devotees. Translation. Devotees always bathe themselves in devotional service in order to be relieved from the various tribulations of material existence. By doing this, the devotees enjoy supreme bliss and liberation. Personified comes to serve them. Nonetheless, they do not accept that service, even if it is offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. For the devotees, liberation, mukti, is very unimportant because, having attained the Lord's transcendental loving service, they have attained everything desirable and have transcended all material desires. Purport. Devotional service unto the Lord is the highest attainment for anyone desiring liberation from the tribulation of material existence. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 6.22, Yam labdha ka param labham manyate na dikam tataha. Gaining this, one thinks there is no greater gain. When one attains the service of the Lord which is non-different from the Lord, one does not desire anything material. Mukti means relief from material existence. Bilva Mangala Thakura says, Mukti Ulatanjaliha Sevate for a devotee, mukti is not very great achievement. Mukti means being situated in one's constitutional position. The constitutional position of every living being is that of the Lord's servant. Therefore, when a living entity is engaged in the Lord's loving service, he has already attained mukti. Consequently, a devotee does not aspire for mukti even if it is offered by the Supreme Lord Himself. Hare Krishna.
So for a devotee, why mukti is not great achievement? Because having attained the Lord's transcendental loving service, they've attained everything desirable and have transcended all material desires. Devotional service is the highest attainment for anyone desiring liberation from the turbulations of material existence. So when one attains service of the Lord, which is not different from the Lord, then one does not desire anything material. Real mukti means being situated in one's constitutional position as eternal servant of the eternal Lord. Therefore, when the jiva is engaged in Lord's service, he has already attained mukti. Hence, the devotee does not aspire for mukti, even if it is offered by Lord Himself. Questions, comments, realizations?
It's a new dimension I have realized, Prabhuji, today.
Yeah, very good. Very good listening with rapt attention. Now, here, Parikshit Maharaj is thinking that Lord appeared in Priyavrata's dynasty as Rishabdev, in Uttanapada's dynasty as Prithu Maharaj and Lord Kapila, as Krishna in the Yadu dynasty. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is thinking that the Lord did not appear in my Kuru dynasty. So Lord Krishna was actually more affectionate to Pandavas as compared to Yadus, even though Krishna appeared in the Yadu family. And therefore Krishna gave highest prema to Pandavas. Hence the next verse, Sukadeva Goswami encourages Parikshit Maharaj by reminding Parikshit Maharaj of Lord Krishna's intimate dealings with Pandavas. As well as Sukadeva Goswami states, the rarity of bhakti and the superiority of bhakti to liberation. Abhishek Prabhu, 18 translation and purport and then 19 translation.
Hi. Text 18. Sukdev Goswami continued. My dear king, the Supreme Person Mukunda is actually the maintainer of all members of the Pandava and Yadu dynasty. He is your spiritual master, worshipable deity, friend, and the director of your activities. To say nothing of this, he sometimes serves your family as a messenger or servant. This means he worked just as ordinary. He works just as ordinary servants do. Those engaged in getting the Lord's favor attain liberation from the Lord very easily, but he does not very easily give opportunity to render direct service to him. Purport. While instructing Maharaj Parikshit, Sukdev Goswami thought it wise to encourage the king, because the king might be thinking of the glorious position of various royal dynasties. Especially glorious is the dynasty of Priyavrata, in which Supreme Lord Rishabdev incarnated. Similarly, the family of Uttanpad Maharaj, the father of Maharaj Dhruva, is also glorious due to King Prithus taking birth in it. Dynasty of Maharaj Raghu is glorified because Lord Ramchandra appeared in that family. As far as Yadu and Kuru dynasty are concerned, they existed simultaneously, but of the two, the Yadu dynasty was more glorious due to the appearance of Lord Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit might have been thinking that the Kuru dynasty was not as fortunate as the others because the Supreme Lord did not appear in that family. Neither is Krishna, Lord Ramchandra, Lord Rishabdev, or Maharaj Prithu. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj was encouraged by Sukdev Goswami in this particular verse. The Kuru dynasty may be considered more glorious due to the presence of devotees like five Pandavas who rendered unalloyed devotional service. Although Lord Krishna did not appear in Kuru dynasty, he was so obliged to the Pandavas' devotional service that he acted as a maintainer of the family and spiritual master of the Pandavas. Although he took birth in the Yadu dynasty, Lord Krishna was more affectionate to the Pandavas. By his actions, Lord Krishna proved that he was more inclined to the Kuru dynasty than the Yadu dynasty. Indeed, Lord Krishna indebted to the Pandavas devotional service and acted as their messenger, and he guided them through many dangerous situations. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit should not have been saddened because Lord Krishna did not appear in his family. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always inclined towards his pure devotees, and by his action, it is clear that liberation is not very important for devotees. Lord Krishna easily gives one liberation, but he does not so easily give one the facility to become a devotee. Muktim dadati karhichit smana bhaktim yogam. Directly or indirectly, it is proved that bhakti yoga is the basis for the supreme relationship with the Supreme Lord. It is far superior to liberation. For a pure devotee of the Lord, mukti is automatically attained. Text 19. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rishabdev, was fully aware of his true identity. Therefore, he was self-sufficient and he did not desire external gratification. There was no need for him to aspire for success, since he was complete in himself. Those who unnecessarily engage in bodily conceptions and create an atmosphere of materialism are always ignorant of their real self-interest. Out of his causeless mercy, Lord Rishabdev taught the self's real identity and the goal of life. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who appeared as Lord Rishabdev.
Very good. Any questions, comments, realizations? So we read that those who are engaged in getting Lord's favor attain liberation from the Lord very easily. But Lord does not give very easily the opportunity to render direct service to him. So the pure devotional service is very rare. And although Lord Krishna appeared in the Yadu dynasty and not in the Kuru dynasty, still Lord was so obligated to the Pandavas' devotional service. Hence, Lord was more affectionate to the Pandavas, and Lord Krishna acted as messenger of Pandavas, and he guided the Pandavas through many dangerous situations. So Bhakti Yoga is the basis for the supreme relationship with the Supreme Lord. Bhakti Yoga is far superior to liberation. Bhakti Yoga is rare. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of 5th canto, 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Activities of Lord Rishabdev. Spiritual endeavor questions. Number 1. Why did Lord Rishabdev refuse to manifest mystic perfections. Comes from chapter summary introduction and verse 15. Number 2. What is the first business of one trying to advance in spiritual life? Number 3. For a devotee, why is mukti not a very great achievement? Comes from verse number 17. I will post Prabhupada lectures. Please listen to them. So we have completed this unit number 22. So next week, you all will do your respective presentations. As you can see on the screen, I have the presentation document. Please let me know your presentation slot. So this time, Mother Jija is slightly busy and she will not do a presentation this time. So Mother Jija wrote a very nice personal note on this, that how preparing for the presentations, what are the steps? And the effect of preparing for these presentations is more and more remembrance of Krishna. So I have this Mother Jija's note on the screen. I request Sridhar Prabhu to please read. It's a very nice personal note.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Preparing for the presentation is like preparing for a final exam. It needs a lot of dedication, hard work. First, I must reread the given text, refer both class notes and text, arrange all prints like a story and see that no point is left off. Write down everything and arrange it so that it should tally for the given time 8 minutes. Moreover, my mind will always be on the given work, arranging, rearranging, adding new points. Like how you tell us, our whole mind will be Krishna conscious. This time I'm taking it easy and will enjoy others' presentation. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice note. Thank you, Mother Jija. Rest of you, do you have the same, follow the same steps or something similar? And is the result for you all also that you end up remembering Krishna more and more?
Yes, Prabhuji.
RVd, she has very nicely put it across. I used to feel like that, comparing class notes,
Yeah.
reading the book, rereading the book, concise and put in my own style of putting across, rereading what I have written and then making precis writing in that.
Yeah.
Because it is time bound. And in the end, I realized that this spiritual yandava makes your mind simmer with Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So the presentations are for our benefit, right? That makes you disciplined, as Mother Jija has correctly said, that I have to rearrange and ensure that it fits in 8 to 10 minutes. And more importantly, that we are remembering Krishna consciously and unconsciously. Thank you, Mother Jija, again for writing this note and always doing presentations with nice drawings. And thank you all for doing your presentations. So
One more
same-
thing, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I wanted to add. Once you commit for this presentation, the whole mind is continuously 24 hours thinking there is something which is I have not accomplished. Like
Yeah.
that, or feeling is there.
Yeah, very good.
Till I deliver my commitment.
Yeah, very good. Correct that you are basically remembering Krishna, right? So there's very good commitment. That's what Krishna is looking for. In any relationship, commitment is what holds the relationship. Very good. So I request all of you to please let me know your presentation slots, with the understanding that at least we don't have Mother Jija doing the presentation this time. There are a few of you who have not done the presentations in the past few times, so it's a good opportunity to pick up
Prabhuji,
some
one
slots.
more thing I wish to narrate to you.
Yeah.
Due to commitment, we will be traveling, and next class we might not be, because shortly we are undertaking in 2 days our travel. On 4th, regretfully, we will not be attending the classes. And a lot of things are happening now, medical appointment, etc., etc. I'm stitching on time. And I regret for the first time we will be missing our presentation.
Okay. Yeah. You take it easy. So rest of you can please pick up some slots. We have few devotees occupied in other material tasks. So please pick up some spots, rest of you. Shivangi?
Prabhuji, can I sign up for chapter 4?
Chapter 4. Okay, I will put your name right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, rest of you can please let me know as soon as is possible and pick up some slots from here. The last thing for today, I will answer inquiries submitted by you devotees. Abhishek Prabhu, you have something to say?
Yes, Prabhuji, for the spiritual endeavor for question 2, is there any verse or it's just on us? I think it was.
So question number 2, what is the first business of one trying to advance in spiritual life, comes from verse number 3. Sorry if I did not mention earlier.
Thank you.
All right.
And the number say?
3.
Verse 3.
So question number 1, how to respect everyone as per their level. Now, this question number 1 is what you should not do. And I have also done this in past. So at our previous sessions, we discussed at great length the 4 positive levels and the 4 negative levels from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.12, as well as how to be non-envious from Bhagavatam 4.8.34. So we already discussed this. It is just that this question number 1 is on the same lines, just worded differently because the devotee wants something more. No, we already discussed at great length. Now understand, you are not alone. I have also done this, that I will ask the same question in different way. So we have to learn to not do this of us trying to ask the same question in different ways. Questions, comments, realization on the question itself? Question number 2. How are ghosts superior to human?
Sorry,
As
Krishna.
okay, go ahead, Abhishek. Bro.
The question, I wanted to understand that, like, different people have, like, we respect everyone, but it doesn't, like, the answer of the previous question was not in mind, but like, there are different levels of authority, and all of them are senior, but like, our dealings may not be same
Yeah, so we
for.
have discussed this. We have also discussed this from Sri Ishopanishad, where the Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadhikaris are described. That Kanishta Adhikari, because he is chanting Hare Krishna, respect him in the mind. For Madhyam Adhikari, make friends with Madhyam Adhikari. And for Uttamadhikari, serve the Uttamadhikari. And in terms of reciprocation for, say, with animals, say a tiger or whatever the other animal is, so you respect equally means they are all still equal, but reciprocation with a tiger is you give him prasad. You don't go and hug a tiger. He doesn't understand a hug. Right? So respect and reciprocation are different points. Abhishek?
Really, this point of, like, seeing someone as Kanishta, someone as Madhyama, this, like, at least seeing someone as Kanishta doesn't seem very, uh, because because there is, like, when if at least I'll tell about myself, if I see someone as Kanishta, there is a natural feeling that uh, I'm little better than him. So
Yeah.
that, I mean,
So we already discussed this point that the Kanishta Adhikari levels or all these levels are not meant for us to judge others. Yes, you can notice that somebody is a Kanishta Adhikari so that you can understand how you can reciprocate. You notice somebody is Madhyam, so how you can reciprocate. But you don't have to deride anyone. And in Bhagavad Gita discussion, as well as in other places, including Sri Upanishad, we have discussed that do not deride Kanishta Adhikari at all. If you go back to Bhagavad Gita 7.16 discussion, that 4 kinds of people come to Krishna. The first is the wealth seeker, and they are Kanishta Adhikari. Dhruv Maharaj is an example of Kanishta Adhikari. So why would you deride anybody as Kanishta Adhikari? No, we do not. We simply respect and reciprocate by offering them obeisances in our mind. So definitely do not deride Kanishta Adhikari level. It's a pretty important level as well. And we clearly discussed at 4.8.34 that even if you see somebody who is junior to you, well, show them compassion rather than thinking I am superior. We saw Mother Jija's drawing on it perfectly, where she showed school kids and a teacher saying, okay, you are junior, I'm going to teach you. And Abhishek Prabhu, you yourself read that slide of Mother Jija. Does that help you?
uh, can you also add in this the point of age, like,
So
for
age, material body age does not matter. It's the devotional age that matters. And I've described this example that in one other somebody else's Bhagavatam class, this question was posted live. And there is a senior devotee. He is like a president or somebody in the temple. There is a neophyte, brand new. And there is a 5-year-old girl sitting in the audience. And the question was, who is superior here? You tell me, who is superior from these three? Everybody? From these three, who is superior?
I feel the 5-year-old.
Okay, why?
Because even though she is 5-year-old, she is able to sit and at least listen.
Okay.
Whereas the senior, because of their exposure and everything, they are the senior in the temple.
Okay.
Maybe I feel like that, Prabhu.
Okay, rest of you quickly answer. Who is senior from the
I
three and
feel,
why?
Prabhuji, it is not the bodily concept, the mind. The mind of the 5-year is more matured at the smallest birth of years, of 5 years. She has the keenness, desire to listen to such meetings.
Okay, rest of you. Who is senior here?
Prabhuji, I agree with Chandra Aunty Mataji.
Okay.
The child is senior.
Okay. Rest of you who have not answered, please answer. Who is senior? Abhishek, Shivangi, Sridhar?
Your question, who is senior in age or maturity of mind? Prabhuji?
My question is, who is senior? You tell me. My questions are always open-ended to make you think. Okay. Abhishek, Shivangi.
I feel that 5-year girl is senior because such a young age she has the maturity to come and listen and with the devotion.
All right. Rest of you, please answer. Abhishek, Shivangi, Sridhar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I would go with Chandra Aunty, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
All right. Okay, we almost have a unanimous answer. Abhishek, Shivangi.
I don't know.
Okay. Abhishek. So you all are correct that the 5-year-old girl is senior because of her previous devotion that she has started hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and doing devotional service at such a young age. Right? So you don't judge anybody by this life's bodily age. That is irrelevant. We have discussed that life continues, life after life after life after life. So whatever devotion we have done in the past is never lost. We continue from that point on. So that 5-year-old girl should be playing in a playground with mud and other things. Instead is sitting in Bhagavatam class and understanding. Why? Because of the previous devotion. Therefore, the 5-year-old is senior. So we don't judge anybody according to bodily age. We don't judge anybody according to whether they are Kanishta or not. No, we respect everyone. Yes, we can see according to the characteristics whether somebody is Kanishta or Madhyam or Uttam, so that we can reciprocate accordingly. But we respect everyone, including animals. With animals, the reciprocation is different, that you give them prasad. We don't go and hug a tiger. Abhishek, everybody on the same page with this inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this question has triggered, churned the mind, and knew what we knew. You made us aware that it is continuity of previous birth. This is the dimension which we have been reading, listening, and discussing. Thank you.
So about this point on churning, there is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that this is the nature of gopis, that they will take Krishna's pastime and they will discuss and keep churning and churning and churning and just create newer and newer views of the same pastime just to be more relishable. Very good. Abhishek Prabhu, you are silent. Does that answer your inquiry?
Yes, Shodi. So just to confirm that, like, even if there are devotees who are elderly, but the way we understand it, if they are not very high in devotion, so we don't take their, like, we keep our distance from them.
So you respect everyone and you associate with like-minded devotees. So the same statement, you look it in a positive sense. What Abhishek Prabhu said was, do I keep distance? That sounds like a negative statement. So I said sounds like it's not a negative, but sounds like. The positive way my response is associate with like-minded devotees. You respect everyone. For these senior whom you see as Kanishta Adhikari, say Hare Krishna with folded hands. And when it comes to associating for doing devotional services, find like-minded devotees. Abhishek?
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you.
So we are just past 1 p.m. Toronto time. I do have few inquiries. Can answer in next class. So because it's in India, it's already quite late. If everybody is okay with the plan, our next class will slightly be shorter anyway because we have 3 chapters to revise.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We'll stop here. I will answer rest of the questions in subsequent class. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.